And this is Josh VanBuskirk over at the Joshua VanBuskirk DCPC Chiropractic Clinic. And this is the first of what hopefully will be many video series when I talk about some different health topics and specifically conditions that relate to our office and what we treat. And the first one, I've been thinking about this for a while, a couple weeks while my tools were coming in the mail. This tab that I can draw on here was coming in the mail. I wanted to think about and talk about tension headaches. And the reason being is, number one, they're so common. The stats right now, it's like 10 to 30% of people have tension headaches. And of those 10 to 30%, 3% have chronic headaches, meaning that they have these tension headaches that don't go away. They're constant. And it's nasty stuff to deal with because it's going to affect what are called, in the medical community, activities of daily living. It affects your work, it affects your hobbies, how you interact with your family. And so it can be pretty nasty, mean stuff. And the second reason I want to talk about this is because I really do believe that these can be serious, that they're forecasts of things to come, more serious conditions to come. It starts off with just a little headache and then it ends up with some serious conditions. And number three, I want to talk about these because in my office I've had, I would say my specialty is the neck and headaches. Like, we can take care of these in just a second, just a couple visits, we can take care of them and get great results. So I like headaches for that reason, is that they're easy and they make me look good. So let's talk about the cause of this tension headache. The tension headache, number one, is caused by bad posture. Every case is different, but every case I see has some similar presentation when it comes to tension headaches like this. And I don't know if you can tell the difference between these two people. This person here over in the right, they have what would be normal or good posture. The ear hole lines up with the AC joint, and if we looked further down the line, we'd see that lined up with his hips and his ankle. A person like this, if I saw this person on the street and I came up and asked them, I guarantee that they wouldn't have a whole bunch of problems with headaches. Maybe they would, but probably they wouldn't. But this is what I see all the time. In the medical community and in the physical therapy world, this presentation with the head coming forward is called forward head posture. It's also called what I like to refer to as upper cross syndrome. And this causes these horrible headaches that you get. Why? Why does it cause these horrible headaches? So let's zoom in on what's happening on the x-ray level. If you can see right here, what I've done, and I've tried to draw it out, I've tried to zoom in on what would be happening on the structures of the neck, on the structures of the spine. Here is that first presentation. The spine should have a nice curve like this being the front, this being the back. That curve, it does a lot of things. It distributes load. It acts like a spring. We are basically designed to have a curve like this in our necks. And what I've done right here, this is the disc. Basically, when all this is functioning like it should be, we don't have a lot of problems. But if we go over here to the right, this is that forward head posture, and we see a curve. The curve has gone away. We see, instead of it being like this, we see a lack of curve, what's called a decreased cervical lordosis, or a failing of the cervical curve. It's got a bunch of different names, but what it means is that there's no more of that spring action. And if we zoom in, a lot of different things happen, and they happen over a long period of time. If I was to draw the muscles, get a different color here, of the suboccipital triangle, they would be super tense and tight, because the weight of that head is coming straight down, and when the structures of the regular spinal structures aren't able to carry that load, the muscles, especially the suboccipital muscles, have to carry that load, and it's heavy. It's a bugger. But what I really don't like is what I've zoomed in right here. This is a disc in the cervical spine. Usually they're supposed to be shaped like this. They have a little bit of a wedge shape that gives them that curve that we see over here. What happens when the head goes forward, load is placed on the front part of the disc for a long period of time, and the disc slowly transforms from something like this to something like this. And what eventually happens is we get what's called a disc bulge or a disc herniation. And these are bad, 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 bad. The reason being is, if you can see this right here, I attempted to draw another structure that's interacting in the function of the neck. That is a nerve. And when that disc bulges, what's the first thing that it goes up against it? You guessed, it goes up against the nerves and causes a whole bunch of problems. It causes that tingling in the arms. When it's really bad, it can cause, decreased bowel and bladder function. It can even cause loss of sensation in the legs. It's bad, 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 bad stuff. And so how can we prevent that? How can we prevent that? How do I treat headaches in my office and get rid of this? Number one thing we're going to do is we're going to change your muscles. And we're going to do that via the chiropractic adjustment. And we're going to do that via fascial release. You know how above I said at the very top of the neck all those muscles get tight, you get knots in those areas, what are called trigger points? Well, when we give a proper chiropractic adjustment, what's sometimes called a manipulation, it releases the tension that's on those spindle cells. It breaks up fascial adhesions. It increases movement in joints that have been tight and tense for a long time. And as a result, when we see this happening, we see a decrease in the tension and therefore a decrease in the tension headache. It's usually almost immediate, and people feel better than they felt in a long time. But that's only half the battle. If we just started right there, we wouldn't be doing a full service to you. If once we get you moving the way and we release all the tension that's there, we have to make sure that it doesn't happen again, and this happens through exercises. We have to teach the body. Remember how it used to be like this? Or the head's gone forward and you have the head right here. You have that slouched forward posture. We have to teach that head to come back. We have to teach the muscles right here to turn on and bring that head back over the shoulders. So how do you know if you have problems? How do you know if you're at risk for a disc bulge? Well, number one, if you're having tension headaches, that's a sign that something's wrong, that those muscles aren't functioning the way they should. Number two, do a self-check. Here's how you can self-check yourself. Right now, go have someone take a picture of you. This is going to be your head, your rib cage. I know this isn't to scale. And then we're going to have your feet down to the side. I know I'm taking this picture sort of from the side. There's your arms. If someone looks at you exactly from the side, 1, 2, 3, 4 structures should line up right in a row. Number one, your ear hole should line up with your shoulder, and your shoulder should line up with the top of your iliac crest, which is that pelvic bone right there. Just feel for the very top of it, which should line up with the bump of your ankle on the outside, called your lateral malleolus. Taken from the side, from a side profile, all these three should line up correctly. If they do, you have the most efficient, correct posture known to man. If you don't, you are being inefficient with your spinal structures, with your muscular structures, with your joint structures, and it's going to cause some of the headaches that you have. And further down in the road, if you don't get it taken care of, you're going to have those disc bulges. Last thing I'm going to tell you, go to my website, www.joshuavanbuskirk.com. I want you to go under the videos section, and I'm going to also upload a video of some exercises you can do to strengthen the neck so that it doesn't go forward. like we were talking about, but strengthens it so that you stand upright and have that upright neck posture. Recently, I'll just end with this. There was a study done, and it was published just in January. No, so this very month. It was published this very month in the. Let me make sure I get this right. In the Annals of International Medicine, and it was called "Spinal Manipulation, Medication, or Home Exercise with Advice for Acute and Subacute Neck Pain." What they did is they basically lined up spinal manipulation, home exercises, and they compared it to drugs for neck pain. And I think and tension headaches can be classified in that broader category of neck pain. And they saw which would do better. And neck manipulation, or what could be called the chiropractic adjustment, did better than drugs. It did better. It did actually. Home exercises did just as well and sometimes a little bit better than the chiropractic adjustment. So if you could just imagine coupling the adjustment plus exercises, what results you would get. The drugs didn't do that good at all. And the main reason being is drugs are great when you need them, but drugs just mask the pain. They just cover it up. They don't actually take care of what's causing the pain. So when most likely exercises and the chiropractic adjustment would take care of that. So do yourself a favor. If you have neck pain, if you have tension headaches, go see your chiropractor. Give my office a call. I'll write that down here. Give our office a call at 609-8115 and see if we can take care of it for you. Don't become one of the 3% chronic neck pain people, because it's just a horrible life to live in, and it's totally probably preventable if you do come and see us. But that is all until next video. We are out.